Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Before, let me introduce myself. My name is Rani Nuruhotimah and I'm from Group 10. Today I will give you explanation about approach in teaching. Okay, now we next to our outline for today's discussion. First, definition of approach in teaching. Second, teaching approach theory. Third, types of teaching approach. Fourth, various teaching approach. Fifth, the importance of learning approach. And the last one, I will open question and answer section. For the definition, I took two definitions from two experts. First, according to Judy, he believes that the meaning of a teaching approach is the way of managing learning activities and student behavior so that they can actively engage in learning tasks, thereby achieving optimal learning outcomes. Second, according to Shaipul, he believes that an approach is a teacher's perspective on students in assessing, determining attitudes and actions faced in hopes of solving problems in managing a comfortable and enjoyable classroom for the learning process. Now we move to the next slide about approach in teaching theory. They are divided into four theory. First, cognitive theory. Second, behavioristic theory. Third, constructivist theory. And the last one, humanistic theory. I will explain one by one from cognitive theory. The cognitive approach in teaching focuses on understanding how humans process information, remember, solve problems, and grasp new concepts. This theory emphasizes information processing, schemas, assimilation, and accommodation in forming understanding. In the context of education, teachers act as facilitators who help students build their own understanding by encouraging reflective thinking, discussion, and active problem solving. This is supported by using learning strategies that involve critical thinking, concrete example, and applying concepts to enhance student understanding. Second, behavioristic theory. The behaviorist approach to teaching focuses on the belief that human behavior is learned through direct experiences, environmental stimuli, and response to those stimuli. It revolves around key concepts such as reinforcement, shaping, associative learning, and modeling. Reinforcement dictates that reinforced behaviors, positive or negative, tend to occur more frequently influenced by rewards or punishment. Shaping involves gradually reinforcing behaviors closer to the desired end goal. Associative learning emphasizes the core relationship between stimulus and response, seen classical and operant conditioning. Additionally, humans can learn through observation and imitation, known as modeling. In education, this approach often employs positive reinforcement, rewards praise, or negative reinforcement, removal of negative consequences, to encourage desired behaviors, aiming to shape behavior within the learning environment. Third, constructivist theory. The constructivist theory in teaching emphasizes that students actively build their own knowledge through experiences, reflection, and interaction. This involves active learning where students engage in the learning process, supported by direct experiences and practical tasks. Each student is seen to have a unique understanding developed from their personal experiences, with the teacher acting as a facilitator to aid in developing this understanding. Collaboration and discussion among students and with the teacher are crucial in constructing shared understanding. Learning strategies like problem-based projects, groups discussions, and practical experiments are often used to facilitate this constructivist process, aiming to create a deep understanding actively built by students. And the last one, humanistic theory. The humanistic teaching approach revolves around understanding individuals as unique entities with their own needs, motivation, and potentials. It emphasizes the value of each individual within their learning context, taking into account their subjective experiences and emotions as crucial elements in the learning process. Central to this approach is the recognition of students as active participants in their own learning journey, capable of directing their learning based on their interests and needs. Creating an environment that values and accepts each student's uniqueness is fundamental, fostering their personal growth and development. In this approach, teachers act as facilitators, guiding students to discover their strengths and potentials. Strategies involving open discussions, interactive sessions, and practical applications are employed to support personal growth and individual development, aiming to make students feel acknowledged, appreciated, and encouraging them to evolve as more integrated individuals. Types of teaching approach divided into two types: first, teacher-centered approach and student-centered approach. The teacher-centered teaching approach emphasizes the central role of the teacher in organizing and delivering course content, placing students as objects in the learning process. In this context, the teacher is seen as the primary source of knowledge and authority in the classroom. They determine the learning content, teaching methods, and assess students. Students are more passive in this approach as they receive information taught by the teacher and are expected to follow the teacher's instructions. The lack of freedom to explore individual interests and active learning is a key characteristic of this approach. Nevertheless, the teacher-centered approach is still commonly implemented in some educational environments. The student-centered teaching approach places the students at the center or as the subject of the learning process, demanding them to be more active in their learning activities. Teachers not only act as information providers but also as facilitators who assist students in exploring their own interests, needs, and abilities. This approach promotes active learning, where students engage in exploring concepts, collaborating with peers, and have an active role in determining their learning direction. Teachers facilitate rather than dictate, providing the necessary support to help students understand and apply the subject matter to their lives. This approach encourages creativity, problem solving, and the development of social skills while allowing students to expand their interests and knowledge more broadly. Various teaching approach. 1. Contextual approach. Contextual approach is a teaching method where teachers take the initiative to connect learning with students' everyday environment. They encourage students to link and apply their knowledge in daily life. However, to use this approach, teachers need to teach the usefulness, essence of learning, and ways to achieve a goal. This aims to help students understand what they are learning and its relevance to everyday life. Second, constructivist approach. The constructivist approach focuses on participation and direct experience in learning activities. Learning using this approach makes students more active as it emphasizes the process of achieving knowledge rather than the outcome. Third, deductive approach. Deductive approach is a teaching method that emphasizes thinking activities using logic to solve problems and draw conclusions. It starts with general principles of concepts and then applies them to specific situations. For inductive approach. The inductive approach starts with the observation process and draws conclusions from those observations. This approach begins learning from specific things to later derive general conclusions or principles. To apply this inductive approach, teachers need to prepare specific examples that are later concluded into a fact, rule, or law. 5. Scientific approach. The scientific approach to learning is a method that encourages students to actively explore, investigate, and observe natural phenomena or specific situations. This approach emphasizes problem solving, experiments, observation, and inquiry based on the scientific process. Students are engaged in a more interactive learning process where they build their own knowledge through experiments, critical thinking, and observations, supporting a deeper understanding of scientific concepts. 6. Open-ended approach. The open-ended learning approach is a method where students are given the freedom to explore, discover, and develop their own solutions or answers to problem or learning situations. This approach has no strict limitation, providing space for students to express creativity, generate various possible solutions, and promote flexible and diverse thinking. Students are encouraged to learn through open exploration and develop deeper problem-solving skills. 7. Problem-solving approach. The problem-solving learning approach focuses on developing students' skill in solving complex problems or situations that require solutions. This approach emphasizes critical, analytical, and creative thinking process to identify issues, find possible solutions, and evaluate and apply the most suitable solution. It provides students with opportunities to hone valuable critical, creative, and problem-solving skills in daily life and academic contexts. Additionally, it allows them to learn from mistakes and improve their problem-solving strategies for the future. The primary focus on this approach is to develop students' ability to analyze problems and find solutions. It trains students' critical and logical thinking skills. The last, science, technology, and society approach. The science, technology, and society approach in education emphasize the close interaction between science, technology, and society as an interconnected unit. This approach doesn't just study science and technology as separate disciplines, but also considers the social impacts, ethics, and implications of scientific and technological advancements on society. Its goal is to produce students who not only have a strong understanding of science and technology but also appreciate their impact on society. Additionally, it aims to equip students with critical thinking skills and the ability to make informed decisions within the complex context involving science and technology. The importance of learning approach. The learning approach plays a crucial role in shaping effective and meaningful learning experiences. The right learning approach isn't just about using specific methods, but also considers students' needs, learning style, and objectives. By selecting an appropriate approach, the learning process can become more effective, meaningful, and empower students to develop their potential optimally. In conclusion, the approach in learning includes cognitive, behaviorist, constructivist, and humanistic theories, along with types of approach like student-centered and teacher-centered. Various approaches such as contextual, deductive, inductive, scientific, and problem-solving based are involved. Choosing the right learning approach can facilitate deep understanding of subjects, boost student engagement and motivations, accommodate diverse learning style, build relevant real-life skills, provide practical experiences, linking theory to the real world, and encourage critical thinking important for problem solving.
So that's all my presentation. I hope you understand about my explanation, guys. Thank you for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.